Hi, I'm Kevin Goodnow. I'm lead lobbyist for the Minnesota Home Care Association. Want to give you a brief update with regard to the Minnesota legislative session as we move into the legislative break before the second half of the legislative session. Right now, the legislature is on their holiday, their Easter Passover break. They'll be coming back next week. What we've been focusing on the first half of session is really moving bills through the committee process. And now we're going to be shifting into more floor discussion on bills and putting finance bills together as we go into the end of session. So the main priorities that the Home Care Association is pushing and working on, one is the Minnesota Home Care licensure rewrite that we've worked and negotiated with the Department of Health on. We're the lead organization along with folks from care providers and Leading Age on various issues related to the statutes related to home care licensure. That bill has been heard in 4 different committees in either the House or Senate. It's sitting in the right committees. We met deadline on that, and that bill is moving forward. A special thanks to Representative Haley on that and Senator Ralph on moving those bills forward in the legislature. Second issue we've been working on is the notification if an agency is admitting a sexual predator who's been registered, that there would be a requirement that the home care agency be notified of that. That bill has been carried by Representative Zerwas in the House, and that did meet all the House deadlines. Unfortunately, the bill did not make it through the process in the Senate. Senator Johnson from the East Grand Forks area was carrying it in the Senate for us. We are looking for other alternatives for that bill, potentially looking for its placement in an omnibus bill, and so we're continuing to work on that. And then another bill that we're working on, the start of home care services, is a bill that we have been working on as laying the foundation for our discussions later on next year when we have a bigger and broader legislative session that involves the major budget. Representative Tice from St. Cloud and Senator Ralph from the St. Cloud area are both our authors on those bills. In addition to those 3 priorities of the Home Care Association, we're also very closely following the vulnerable adults legislation that's going through. We're working along with other provider groups and other stakeholders to make sure that whatever the reactions are to the vulnerable adult abuses that are out there, that they make sense and really do protect the elderly, but don't put undue burdens on providers that really don't solve the problem that we're trying to solve. The big challenge there is there are a number of different ideas on how to address that. One is one that's been put forward by the provider groups, the long-term care imperative. Another one's been put forward by heavily ARP influenced by the governor's task force. And a third has been put forward by the Senate Republicans. And so as we go through the last part of session, how we combine those 3 approaches will be really interesting, and we'll be involved in those discussions as we move forward. Additionally, we have an EVV, electronic visit verification requirement that will be put into place on January 1st, 2019 by the federal government. We're working with the various legislators to figure out what the Department of Human Services response to that is and what program they'll have in place. If we don't have that in place, there will be penalties assessed by the federal government that could result in a reduction in the rates that the providers are being paid. So it's very, very important for us to move forward with some sort of solution that complies with the federal law. And then we're also following various other things that are out there related to personal care assistance and other various policies that could impact home care agencies throughout the state. So that's the wrap up for now. If you do have any questions, you feel free to